Hello, hello, welcome to our channel.
Welcome back, I'm Lottie.
And I'm Wyn.
And for those who are new, welcome back to our channel and we welcome to our YouTube family, part 3 of immigration questions.
Yes.
Today, we are doing what? A Q&A session. Yay! We've got a lovely immigration specialist here today as a guest. We're going to be questioning her and giving her all your lovely questions you've been throwing about how to settle in Mexico, temporary residence permit, 180 days, you know, you name it, FFM, whatever you call it. You'll be amazed with how much information you're going to be gaining on this video today, because we are here to help you and assist you to get everything smooth and sailing, right?
All your ducks lined up in a row.
In a row. Welcome back and join us.
Enjoy.
Welcome back to our channel.
Welcome back.
I am Lottie.
And I'm Wyn.
And we've got a special guest today on our channel. What are we doing today? We are discussing about your lovely immigration questions that you post to us. And we brought in a lovely guest whose name is Gabriela, who's a specialist in immigration matters in Mexico. We're going to have her today to answer you all your lovely questions. And before we keep her waiting backstage for far too long, here is Gabriela.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for having me on today. Sorry, the second I came on stage, my dog decided she wanted to bark at the neighbors. But, you know, wouldn't be Mexico if there weren't dogs barking, right?
Right.
So yes, I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me to be on the show. Just a little bit of background about myself. My name's Gabriela in Mexico, Gabrielle in the United States. And I have been living in Mexico on and off since January of 2000, when I first came down here to study abroad and do a Spanish immersion program. And then I moved back. I always knew I wanted to come back to Mexico. I moved back permanently in January of 2020, right before the lovely pandemic hit and the world stopped turning. And I have been working full-time doing immigration work and helping expats and foreigners gain residency the legal way. And that has really been my full-time thing for the last 5.5 months or so, especially with the new changes with FMMs and just some of the changes that Mexico has been seeing. So I am here and happy and ready to answer some questions.
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much. We're so honored to have you.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. Glad you could join us.
Yeah, we've got quite a bit of questions today. Hopefully
Great.
All of them, just to make everyone happy. Let's get into it. Let's see. First questions first.
So the
on Widom.
Okay, the temporary residency initially is for 1 year, but when you renew after that first year, you have the option of renewing for 3 more years. So is there not an annual renewal requirement? Okay, so it's kind of a two-part answer. There is a renewal requirement. You can choose to renew annually for 3 years, or you can choose after your first year to renew once for 3 years. And if you intend on staying in Mexico And if you can afford to do so, that is actually the best route. You don't have to worry about going back to INM unless you have, excuse me, a change of status of some sort, change of address, change of marital status, change of name, that sort of thing. You don't have to go back to INM until you are ready to convert to being a permanent resident. And it saves you almost a year in fees. So it's a bigger chunk of money up front, but it's actually cheaper in the long run.
Okay. And there's no income requirement for this one either, or?
So in Mexico City, they have been asking for 3 months worth of bank statements. A couple weeks ago, I had a client ask for 3 months worth of bank statements and a letter from her employer, which she didn't have because we weren't expecting that at all, because in the past they've never asked for that. So what they did, it was quite clever actually, is luckily she has a bio on her employer's website, and they went and they looked her up and they generated that letter for her.
Oh, wow.
Perfect.
Yeah. So something just to keep in mind. Not every office is asking for this, but Pachuca and Mexico City have both asked for this.
Okay.
Good to know. Good question, babe.
And then this is a second part question from John Woodham.
Okay, so many consulates in the U.S. will not allow you to apply for permanent residency, even if you meet the financial requirements for permanent, unless you are actually retired and can prove it. That is accurate. Many consulates require you to show that you are financially able and self-sustaining for permanent residency and of retirement age, or some of them want to see that you're actually pulling from a pension or a 401k. Even if it's just, say you have $500,000 in savings and that is your retirement because you were self-employed or however you went about retirement, some actually want to see an actual retirement account that you will be pulling from to live in Mexico. And then some look at the numbers and they're like, come on in, you're a permanent resident. So
okay.
Yes.
What about someone who was like, say for instance, in real estate and had like assets like houses or like different properties? Could they look at it that way?
So again, each consulate's gonna consider different methods or different factors. Some will take rental ownership. Property ownership, rental income, things like that. Some will take investment income. Some will only go by bank accounts, and just depends on which consulate you go to. So depending on your situation, I advise clients to kind of shop around for consulates if they have the ability to travel, and find a consulate that will allow them to make an appointment as a non-resident of that geographical region. A lot have been implementing that since COVID, and then to find a consulate that kind of fits their requirements, fit their needs and their financial situation.
So it's like consulate specific.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it depends. Okay.
Lovely. Let's see.
Awesome.
That's a very good question.
Next question is from Sappy Dude. He said, I went to an immigration specialist and she said there was only one consulate with appointments available. Have you heard of this before?
No. No, I haven't. Sorry. I have not. No, consulates are hard to get appointments at, but they all have appointments available. Just depends on the timing, and how you get your appointment is also inconsistent. So my favorite thing to say about the residency process in Mexico is the number one thing you're going to find is consistent inconsistency. And so some offices, you schedule your appointment via the Mexitel system online, which is a beast. That system is not the most user-friendly. It can be very confusing. Some offices only open up their appointments via the Mexitel system every first Tuesday of the month from noon to 4 p.m. Some you have to call the Mexitel line and make your appointment. Some you have to call the actual consulate and make your appointment. Some you have to email the consulate and make an appointment. But all of them, not all of them, some of them are not taking visa appointments. But no, there's definitely more than one consulate accepting appointments. I actually have someone hopping around Europe right now trying to find an office for an appointment. So yes, in Europe, yeah. Although I believe he has been going to the embassies. But that also is something, just a sidebar note.
Yes.
So depending on where you are, which country you're in, it's going to depend if you're going to go to the consulate or the embassy. For example, Belize has a consulate and an embassy, but the embassy is who is processing foreign visas. The consulate there, from my understanding, is that they only serve Mexicans in Belize that need Mexican trámites or Mexican procedures.
Okay. Okay. So they wouldn't have like a specific, so for example, in the UK right now, right? If I wanted to apply for residency in Mexico, is there a website specifically just for UK residents where we can go and we can see like a schedule of their appointments available?
You would need to check each separate consulate. So I'm assuming, I actually don't know the UK very well, but I'm assuming like there are multiple consulates in the UK. It's a fairly large geographical region. So you would want to go to the specific consulate's website and see what they require. And if you can't find an answer specifically on the website, try and email them. A lot of them have their emails on the website, and it's easy, and they're pretty good about responding via email. Some may take a while, but they'll get back to you. But that has been one of the easiest ways for me to get my information and for clients to contact the consulates and make their appointments has been via email.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay. Let's see. We've got Oglock here. It says, maybe mention in a video the steps and paperwork needed for residency status. Thanks.
Okay, so that's a very quick overview. First thing that you need to do is you need to ensure that you qualify for residency via economic solvency. And then you would need to make an appointment at your consulate, and you would need to ask your consulate specifically, the one where you get your appointment, what documents they require. Some require bank statements that are physically printed out and stamped from the bank. Some require bank statements that are notarized. Some are just like print out your bank statements off your printer at home and bring them in. So each consulate's different. Some require letters from employers, some do not. So it's always really important to communicate directly with the consulate where you have your appointment. And then once you get that appointment, you go to your appointment and are approved, you get a stamp in your passport. It's a special visa called a CONHE visa. And you then have 180 days from the date of that visa to arrive in Mexico. And when you arrive in Mexico, you then you show them that CONHE, that stamp. They'll give you a CONHE card for 30 days. And you have 30 days to get to an INM office. You'll need to make an appointment in advance, go to your INM office and convert that CONHE into your residency visa. And there is a series of paperwork that needs to be done for that INM appointment as well. A little too much to describe here, but that's something that people, can contact me and ask me. That is something that most immigration, that's the step that most people hire immigration specialists and immigration attorneys to do, is to complete that paperwork for them. Right now, INM has been so backed up that they have been honoring any appointment made within that 30 days, even if the actual appointment falls outside of that 30-day time frame.
Okay.
And you can also make your appointment before your consulate appointment. You don't have to have already been to the consulate to make that appointment. So if you know when you're arriving in Mexico, you can make your appointment, say today, you know, if you know you're arriving in Mexico in April, even if your consulate appointment isn't until March. You know, if you get denied at the consulate, you just forfeit the appointment. Yeah. Is how that would go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah. Okay, let's see what have we got here. Can I take over, babe?
Yeah, next one is from South Joels. He says, I don't know whether that's true or not, but I went through the new Mexican online appointment booking system, and 1, it's horribly broken, 2, confusing. I think this is what you're...
Yeah, so I'm not sure, though, actually, now that I'm reading it a second time, I'm not sure if they're referring to the system for the consulates or the system for the appointments in Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the one for the appointments at the consulates, it's not the most user friendly. No, they are not. They are not wrong about this. It is a little complicated to navigate, and it's changed since I last had to use it too. So I'm still trying to kind of figure out the quirks and all of that sort of stuff. The one for your INM appointment, that one's pretty user friendly. It's pretty simple. The problem people have, the thing they don't know, is that you have to create a document before, and you have to create an account in the INM appointment system before you can actually make an appointment. You have to have the document number. And so that's where people get tripped up, is that they're like, but I'm trying to make an appointment, and they're asking me for this number, because you actually have to do that before going into the INM appointment system.
That makes sense why it's so confusing and
yes, exactly. And if they're talking about the Mexitel system, it's rough. It's rough. That's why I always advise people to email the consulates first to see if they do email appointments, because if they do, then it's much more streamlined.
And usually everything on the website is in Spanish. And like, what about the appointments in person? Does the person, like a foreigner, do they need to know Spanish or a little bit of Spanish for the appointment?
So in the consulates, they're going to speak English, unless it's in a Spanish-speaking country or a foreign-speaking country. But usually they're going to speak English at the consulate. Guatemala Embassy, I've had clients go there before, and they didn't speak any Spanish, and they said it was a struggle. But in the US or, the UK, obviously they're going to speak English because they're living in an English-speaking country, right? The Mexitel system and all the consulate websites, my computer automatically translates things to English for me. I actually had to change it so it would stop translating, because I only know how to do certain things in Spanish. But if you go, there's on the consulate websites at the top, it'll say Servicios para extranjeros, so services for foreigners, and it'll say visas, and you can click on that, and then it'll say ESP for Espanol or ENG for English, and usually you can just click on that and it'll give you all the information you need in English. Once you're in Mexico, the INM system, everything's in Spanish.
Yeah, we're well aware of that.
Yes, and then once you get to the INM office, it depends on which one you go to. Mexico City has several that speak very, very good English. I've heard some other offices, especially the smaller ones, there's no English to be found. And it's hard because they don't let legal representatives go in with clients. They can go for clients, but they can't go in with clients. And so that's why when I go to the office the day of the appointment with my clients, I coach them on everything. These are some of the things they might ask you, et cetera, just so, and this document is this document is this document is this, and hope that they get through this. And everybody has so far. Everybody's had no problems, but that's also Mexico City, so there's enough English to be spoken.
And their Spanish skills as well. They're going to be living in Mexico, so why not? Right,
exactly. So I'll feed them some words. Like, you might want to know this word or this word or this word, So, and the basic, what is it called in Spanish? The basic information form that you have to fill out for your INM appointment. That's in Spanish. So, and it asks you not weird questions. It asks you identifying information, but like words you're not going to know if you're just starting out learning Spanish. Like, what is your purpose of living in Mexico? What will you be doing here? What is your religion? What is your height, your weight, your occupation? Just some questions that words that, are not usually taught in Spanish, street Spanish 101, right? Like, how do I order tacos and find the bathroom and ask for more beer? You're not learning words they're going to be asking you at the immigration office.
I know.
So there's that. So yes, I'm not sure which one he's referring to. Back to the question. I'm not sure which one he's referring to, but the Mexitel system is very challenging. Definitely try and email first. Yes. And then if they tell you you have to use Mexitel, then you have to use Mexitel, and you can try and figure that one out. And then the INM system is, to me, it's very streamlined, straightforward. I also speak Spanish, so I know exactly what it's asking. Yeah. But one of the things, that's the thing that trips people up, is that you have to actually create your document first that will give you a number, and you have to create an account with the INM system in order to make that appointment.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, that's lovely. Okay, let's see what we got. We got Popisky, I think. I can't pronounce that name properly, but I'll say
Rosemary.
Residency, is there a minimum amount of time you need to physically be in Mexico?
Good question.
It is a great question. And the answer is no. Unless you are a permanent resident looking to apply for citizenship, then there is a certain amount of time. I've been telling myself I was going to look this up because I can't remember, because it's going to apply to me soon. But that is not until you've gotten through 4 years of temporary residency, and then you have permanent residency, and then you're looking to apply for citizenship. But no, there is no minimum amount of time, but you do need to make sure that you check in and out once you are a resident. If you're flying in and out, and I kind of addressed this in that FMM question, if you're flying in and out, there's a stand after security in Mexico City. I'm assuming it's after security in all the airports. Yeah. You would have to stop, and there's a card that you fill out. Yeah. You leave half the card at immigration when you leave, and then you turn the card in when you return. So you do have to at least show your ins and outs, but there's no requirement in regards to the time that you must be in the country.
Okay.
That's perfect. Good to know, isn't it? Mm-hmm.
All right. Next question is from Sankat Hussein. It's kind of the same kind of question, a little bit different. Are there some requirements with the residency that you have to immediately go there and stay for a certain period of time?
Yeah, I think it's a similar question.
Yeah.
Kind of, but I actually see where where it differs a little bit. So you have to get here within 180 days once you're granted your visa, your CONHE. And then you have to convert that within 30 days. But like I said, the appointment system is so backed up that it may take longer. However, once you're here, you can't leave during that time. So that you do need to stay here. There is an exit visa, but it does not apply to this original application. I'm sure in extenuating circumstances it probably would, but generally, once you are here waiting for that appointment to get your CONHE transferred to your temporary residency, you would need to, you have to be in the country.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the only one where you're like, you must not leave the country sort of situation. Yeah. Otherwise you void everything.
Okay. Wow. Definitely good to know.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. We've got Miss Woolly Jumper. All they've asked me was how many days I wanted, which was also written out on my form. I got 60.
So this is in reference to the FMM. So the FMM topic is hot right now. It is a hot topic. So the FMM, I'm just going to address the FMM straight up. November 1st was an unofficial change. We don't know why. We have suspicions that they wanted to push people that have been living here on on tourist FMMs, tourist permits. They are not visas, they're permits, to, you know, get residency and do it legally. And, you know, I have a couple of my own theories as to why. But the FMM has really, I mean, some people get 180 days, no questions asked still, even though some people have been told 180 days don't exist anymore. Some people ask for 180 days and they get 7. There's, again, most consistent inconsistency you're going to find is in the FMM answers. The things that I can tell people in regards to getting the amount of days that they want is be friendly. Be friendly, just like, you know, be friendly, try and speak as much Spanish as you possibly can. Do not just walk up to the desk, hand over your passport and your FMM, you know, and say 180 or 180, and then, you know, they're going to be like, no, like 2 days, bye. I mean, I know a guy that he'd been doing the, as someone described it, the daisy chain of the tourist permits. I love that phrase. For years, and he came in and they gave him 5 days, told him, get your belongings, go home, get residency, and come back.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know anyone that's been denied entry, but they can also deny you entry. So, but yeah. So if you are truly here on tourist purposes, right, you really are here for tourism. Like I have a spare bedroom that I rent out, and I rent it out, you know, for short periods of time to a lot of the digital nomads. And I wrote him a letter stating, you know, he's going to be staying with me. This is my address. I gave him a picture of my ID card so that he had, you know, because he didn't have any sort of like a reservation, anything like that. And then I said, you know, just be friendly. He's a really friendly, oh my gosh, this kid is so cute. He's a really friendly, you know, person. He had an exit ticket or a return ticket to the US. And they didn't ask for the letter at all, any accommodations. They did ask for the return ticket, and they gave him exactly 2 days. They counted it out on the calendar and then gave him 2 days after his return ticket.
Oh, okay.
So that there's no good answer. There's really no good answer. But you know, there are some people that have been coming in and out for years and they're still getting 180. But the 2 strictest airports, I can say this pretty confidently, have been Mexico City and Cancun. Yeah. So those have been the 2 strictest airports have been those 2. But yes, if you're here for truly tourism reasons, those are some suggestions. You know, show accommodations, show a return flight, be friendly. You know, don't come in and look kind of like you know, if you're coming in with a backpack and nothing else, I don't know.
I think this is similar to the other question as well. It looks a little bit. Let's see.
Yeah, from D'Angelo Shea. They asked me why, and I said I'm visiting family and have enough money to do it for 180 days. He gave me the max time and sent me on my way.
So yes, that is one thing that I've been hearing people saying. If you know they have family, I have heard of people also being asked for financials, like, how are you coming to Mexico for 6 months? You know, and they show their bank statement or they show some sort of financials, and they've been getting through the 180 days as well. But again, it depends on the agent you get. It depends on the mood of the agent you get. It depends on which airport you're flying into. It depends on how, you know, friendly you are. It depends on so many factors that I don't think are written in a handbook anywhere. I think it just really is kind of goes with the wind. But yeah,
but it's good to know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
and money, you know, 180 days.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the one thing you do not want to do is just walk in, not say a word other than 180 and, you know, try and be on your merry way. That's going to probably be the fastest way to getting 7 days. That's my personal opinion, but I have a feeling that I'm probably not too far off.
Yeah. Makes sense. Okay, let's see. Ooh. We got lovely Annabelle Wyn, right? And she says we had to pay 1,792 pesos fine. Ooh. and 9,927 pesos for temporary residence.
So this looks like they did some sort of a regularization program. So regularization is a very, also another hot topic. And regularization, there are various routes to regularization. A lot of people, it's getting thrown around a lot as the, hey, you can just take your expired FMM and go to INM and they'll just give you 4 years residency.
Yes.
Regularization actually means that they are regularizing your residency status. So someone, for example, that had an expired, had temporary residency and expired and they need to renew it. There are options to do that. Depending on the amount of time lapsed. FMMs, expired FMMs. So this specific program that a lot of people are referring to, and this is what it looks. This is what it looks like the person did. Because 9,927 pesos would be approximately 4 years of temporary residency.
Okay.
That looks like they did the FMM regularization, where they had an expired FMM and and they were able to go to an INM office, pay the fine for having the expired FMM, and they would also pay another fee, which is like the processing fee, and then they would also pay the fee to get the temporary residency for 4 years. Okay. This program is not available everywhere. It can go away at any time. It happens about every 4 years here. Okay. It's been extended back and forth due to the pandemic. So it was happening quite a bit in 2021. We live in such a time warp. I'm like, I don't know what year it is anymore. Was it 2020 or 2021? I don't know. One of the two. And there's very specific requirements. Only specific offices doing it. It's definitely not I'm just going to let my FMM expire and then I'm going to go get residency. Like, don't bank on that in any way. Because there's no guarantee that it's still going to exist 5 weeks from now. So that is what it looks like that person did, was regularization, based on the numbers that I'm looking at.
Okay, lovely.
Okay.
And I think we've got our last question here.
All right.
Question from Tiana Butler. She says, your local INM cannot overrule this?
No.
Out with the
FMMs.
80 days FMM?
Yeah. So, no. No, but I have heard of some offices granting. It's not an extension. People think it's an extension. It's actually a replacement. And you would go there. I've heard of a couple offices doing it, but again, kind of like regularization, you would have to find out. You'd have to find out where, and then you have to make your way there. And with most of these programs, your FMM needs to be expired, which poses a risk because you can't travel on an expired FMM because then you're illegally in the country. So it's a really gray, shady area to kind of be in. Like, I wouldn't want to risk it if I were in that position, but I also understand that some people are really stuck. There's so many factors and so many things going on in the world, and so many people that can't get back into their home countries for whatever reason. So my advice on that one is to try and either get regularization or try and find someone that can do that, but it's very limited, or try and get to a consulate and get actual residency. But INM has told in Mexico City, if you go to INM asking for a visa, extension. Yes, an extension on your FMM. I harp on the fact that it's not a visa, and then I just said it. If you go asking for an FMM, they're gonna then they'll say go to the airport, and airport's gonna say go to INM. So
export thing.
exactly, yeah, a very Mexican thing, right? Like, no, you need to go to this office. Well, this office just told me to come here. Well, so yeah, so that's all I've got on that. They don't. Can they overrule it? Maybe, but do they? No.
Yeah.
Do they have the authority to? I mean, they are the international, the immigration office, the National Immigration Office, but I don't know if they actually have the authority to do it, and if they do, are they doing it? No.
Yeah. Good to know. Know. Yeah, I think that is it from our viewers, I guess.
Awesome.
No,
I hope this helped a little bit.
Most definitely.
Okay. Yeah. We definitely have had so much knowledge gained in this session.
Yeah.
We should definitely do more.
Yes. Happy to do one just on the whole residency process, or, hot topics that I'm seeing amongst my clients, anything that any topics that you think of, more questions that come from this show, we can, do another one to answer those.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. It sounds good.
Yeah. And one last thought. Yes, everything's constantly changing here. Everything's constantly changing. So the rules can change on any given day. The fees don't change. Those are published at the beginning of every year. But if someone is considering getting residency via solvency, that number increases every year. So say you want to move to Mexico in a couple of years, and you qualify now, it doesn't hurt to start the process now, so that you know that you qualify and you get it taken care of. And then my mom qualified for permanent residency like 9 years ago, and she owns her retirement home in Mexico. But I mean, as far as residency goes, because there is no required time period to be in the country unless you're going for citizenship. If you qualify now, especially since so many people are trying to come here now, and they're really cracking down, I would advise to maybe start the process as soon as possible, just because you never know when it might go away too. You never know when they might make it more difficult, and you don't want to miss out on living in Mexico.
I know, exactly. I was going to say, you don't want to miss out on that lovely lifestyle.
I know.
People,
fabulous life here.
Food, the beaches.
Exactly. All the things. So yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, Gabriela.
Yeah, Thank you. I'm so glad we connected. This has been fabulous.
Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys.
Until again, you do have a good, lovely evening, and we shall speak soon.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Bye-bye.